Good evening. Today is April 13th, and this is our Parks and Recreation Board meeting. So welcome. Let's start off like we do every board meeting and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you so much. And now we'll move on to our agenda. Let's start with roll call. Ms. Santarriaga.
Chair Maisha Gamino,
Here.
Secretary R. Maserlian,
Here.
Board Member Ashley Ramsey,
Here.
and absent are Lori Durbin and Barry Gasau.
Okay, well, we have a small but mighty crew here today to go over the items on our agenda. Let's start off with an introduction of Mr. Thompson. Please share the announcement with us.
Good evening, Chair Gamino and members of the board. Thank you to everyone joining us this evening. My name is Chad Thompson, Senior Clerk in the City Manager's Office, and actually I will be Marissa's EA starting next Monday. So tonight I have the pleasure of sharing the department's program announcements and updates. Please begin the slideshow. The Vaccination Clinic. The Burbank Animal Shelter is holding a vaccination clinic on Wednesday, April 19th for our furry friends. The clinic will be held at the animal shelter located at 1150 North Victory Place from 3 to 5 p.m. Vaccines will be given by appointment only. Please call 818-238-3340 to schedule your appointment today. For more information about the vaccines or about other services, please visit burbankca.gov/animal shelter. Earth Day 2023. The City of Burbank will be celebrating Earth Day 2023 on April 22nd from 9 to 12:30 at the Stout Canyon Nature Center. The celebration will include various events throughout the day, including a trail cleanup at 9 a.m., followed by the Tree City USA ceremony at 10 a.m., celebrating Planted Tree Month and National Arbor Day. The day will be capped off with a scavenger hunt from 11:15 to 12:15. A great time for the whole family. To register for the hunt, please visit burbankparks.com. Scooter Mania. Come join us for some fun, games, and a barbecue at this year's Scooter Mania event held at Valley Skate Park. Stop by Saturday, April 22nd from 5 to 8 to take part in the fun. Event is open for all ages, so bring your scooters, and most importantly, don't forget your pads. Helmets and full pads are required to participate. Call the Mary Alvord Recreation Center at 818-238-5390 for more information. The Story Owl Hour. Each month, the Parks and Recreation Department partners with the Burbank Public Library to host the Story Owl Hour. Each event features a nature-themed topic. Library staff reads a story, and the park staff leads an activity. I'll bet it'll be a hoot. The next event will be held Thursday, April 27th at 10 a.m. Don't forget to bring along your library card. Library staff will select a few books each month, and they will be available for checkout through the Burbank Public Library. For questions and more information, please contact the Stout Nature Center at 818-238-5330 and register at www.burbankparks.com. May Moonlight Hike. Come check out the great view of the moon on this Parks and Recreation staff-led hike up to the view, located on the trails at the Stout Canyon Nature Center. The next hike will be Monday, May 4th at 7:45 p.m. For more information, please call the Stout Nature Center at 818-238-5440 and visit www.burbankparks.com to register. Go! Party at Verdugo Aquatic Facility. With summer right around the corner, go! Parties at the Verdugo Aquatics Facility are back. A great place to have a party and some poolside fun. 2023 summer registrations will open for residents on May 5th and on May 19th for non-residents. Available dates and times will be Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. between June 3rd and August 13th. For more information, please call the Verdugo Aquatic Facility at 818-238-5391. Thank you, and this concludes the department's announcements.
Good job, Chad. Welcome to the team. What a great way to start your new assignment. And that takes us to the director's report. Ms. Garcia.
We have no reports this
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, it's time for public comment. Now is the time for general public comment for members of the public who are here in person and wish to speak. Please present a completed yellow general public comment card to the recording secretary. Any person speaking during general public comment may address the board on any matter related to the Parks and Recreation Board. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person in order to promote fairness. Please stay within your maximum allotted time of 3 minutes. A timer is available on the podium to help the speaker keep track of how much time is left. Please state your name for the record. I also encourage you to call in during general public comment period at 818-238-3335. Again, 818-238-3335. Callers will be placed in a queue until all in-person comments have been received. For callers, please remember to lower the volume on your TV or computer and take your phone off speaker when you deliver your public comment. At this time, I will begin with any in-person comments. Are there any? Okay, there being none, then I'd like to ask Mr. Altman to identify any callers. Oh, Paula? Okay, perfect. Are there any callers?
Yes, we have one caller, Jean Schamberger.
Thank you. Jean Schamberger, we can hear you.
Yes. Great. Good evening, Chairperson Gamino and members Ramsey and Serlian. My name is Jean Schamberger. I am the Vice Chair of the Sustainable Burbank Commission. And this evening, I'm calling in to public comment on behalf of the Sustainable Burbank Commission at the request of our chairperson, Robin Demmel. I am calling to request that the Parks and Recreation Board agendize an item to consider appointment of a liaison from the Sustainable Burbank Commission. As a bit of background, our commission has increasingly recognized topics of common ground and interest with Parks and Recreation. A few examples of our shared concerns include water use, recycled water and water conservation in the city's parks and recreational facilities, equitable green space access, drought-tolerant city trees and landscape, and mitigating the heat island effect in Burbank. The Sustainable Burbank Commission has long benefited from the participation of appointed liaisons from several other city commissions, including, for example, the Youth Board and Planning Board, and we respectfully submit that perhaps both of our CCBs would benefit from ongoing increased collaboration. At the Sustainable Burbank Commission's February 13, 2023 meeting, our commission approved a motion authorizing Chairperson Gemmel to approach Chairperson Gamino with a recommendation and request that the Parks and Recreation Board accept a liaison from the Sustainable Burbank Commission, proposed to be Commissioner Jenny Deal. As I understand it, our respective chairpersons have spoken about this. Our respective staff liaisons are aware and have given feedback, and we are taking the next step at Chairperson Gamino's suggestion to bring this topic to the Parks and Recreation Board's attention and respectfully request that you agendize the designation of a liaison from the Sustainable Burbank Commission, if possible, in your May 2023 meeting. Thank you for your work in our city in so many areas, and thank you for your consideration of this request. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Schamberger. Are there any other speakers?
There are no other speakers.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, seeing that there are no other speakers, we'll now close public comment and allow for an opportunity for the board members to respond to public comment. Board Member Ramsey.
Just thank you for calling. I think it's a great idea. So yeah, I'm all for agendizing that.
Okay, perfect. And do you have any comment?
It's more of a question. It's a comment question, if that makes sense. And I guess the question would be, to the staff in response to the public comment. If you guys can just help clarify their request, I guess, of what do they specifically mean when they say they want a liaison? Is it like us going just like we do to DeBell or other things? Is that what they're looking for? They're looking for someone to come and be a liaison on our, like, can you clarify that just so I understand the request?
Do you want me to start? Okay, so why don't I start off by answering that? I had a conversation with Robin, who's the chair of the Sustainability Commission, and their request, without agendizing this topic today, their request was to provide a liaison for Parks and Recreation Board, and for Parks and Recreation Board to provide a liaison to the Sustainability Commission. And so, because they had a discussion topic on one of their agendas, I asked for the same opportunity for this board to be able to discuss the opportunity, see what makes sense. Also, as part of that, after we agree that we like to agendize this for an upcoming meeting, I'd also like to ask staff to provide us with some insight on what that would look like. Do you have anything else to add, Director?
No, Chair Gamino, that was perfectly stated.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Just as a reminder, at the end of the agenda, should one of the board members wish to put this on the agenda, happy to bring that back for the board's discussion and consideration.
Perfect. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that clarification as well. So we can discuss that or we could add that at the end. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Were there any other comments in response? No. Okay, excellent. Moving on then to written communications. Director Garcia, are there any other written
No
communications?
written communications were received. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Well, we have 2 items for new business today. We have the budget update for the fiscal year 23-24. I'd like to call Mr. Noah Altman to share that with us.
Good evening, Chair Gamino and members of the board. My name is Noah Altman, Administrative Analyst, and I will be presenting the budget update for fiscal year 2023-24. Please begin the PowerPoint. Annual fiscal year budget planning begins in early December. The Financial Services Department Budget Division prepares an annual budget guide providing detailed instructions and assistance to each department with the preparation of their respective budgets. Altogether, the budget preparation process takes approximately 6 months. Prior to the start of the budget process, the city manager reviews the 5-year forecast to set parameters for the new fiscal year. At that time, procedures are established to guide budget staff and other departments in their review and submission of budget requests and any capital improvement projects that require special attention and consideration. The first budget deadline was January 27th and included requests for materials, supplies, and services, new or upgraded position requests, and capital outlay requests. The second budget deadline was February 10th and included budget worksheets, budgeted position changes, revenue projections, and fee schedule changes. The third budget deadline was March 31st and included the agreements and contracts list and department narratives. As of March 31st, the department has met all 3 budget deadlines. The proposed budget will be presented to City Council at the May 9th meeting, and the budget will be adopted by Council at the June 13th meeting. The Capital Improvement Program remains a vital component of the annual budget process. A separate CIP budget serves as the city's strategic capital improvement plan, depicting the total investment required for current and anticipated capital projects for the next 5 years. Capital improvements include renovations or additions to all public facilities. The Infrastructure Oversight Board was created to provide oversight on expenditures for the city's infrastructure by reviewing and recommending projects for the City Council for funding. On February 23rd, 2023, city CIPs were presented to the IOB and staff received their input. The next IOB meeting is scheduled for April 27th, at which time the IOB is expected to recommend a CIP plan to council. The citywide infrastructure plan will go before council at the May 16th meeting. In preparation of the annual CIP submission process for the fiscal year 23-24, the department evaluated the unfunded needs list, which included playground, restroom, and shade structure, and fitness equipment replacements, as well as sports court or resurfacing. This year, the deadline to submit CIPs was scheduled for December, which is earlier in comparison to prior years. Consequently, the department assessed and prioritized needs and identified the following projects for funding consideration. So the projects included the ball field lighting at Schaefer, Brace Canyon Park ball field, DeBell golf improvements, DeBell irrigation replacement, the Dick Clark Dog Park project, Foy Park irrigation replacement, George Isay master plan moving into the phase 2 of that project, Johnny Carson Park stage structure, Max Memorial Park irrigation replacement, McCambridge irrigation replacement, McCambridge Park playground replacement, picnic facility improvements at McCambridge Park, Valley Park ball field and skate park shade structures, and the Santa Anita play lot playground replacement. Proposed funding for these projects derives from multiple funding sources that include Art and Public Places, Burbank Athletic Funds, Park Development Fees, Community Development Impact Fees, the Municipal Infrastructure Fund, Community Development Block Grant, and the Los Angeles County Measure A. These projects were selected based on the department, board, and community identified needs. This includes improving safety, general enhancements, improving efficiency, replacing outdated or worn amenities, and overall enhance park infrastructure. As part of the budget process, the department submitted a robust funding request to address a myriad of operational and staffing needs in addition to recurring contractual obligations. Notably, the majority of the budget requests are revenue offset. The department's requests for the fiscal year 23-24 budget process include funds for a new adult soccer program, increased fireworks costs for Independence Day celebration, contractual obligations that include day camp and after-school programs, organized sports, Burbank Unified School District Joint Use Agreement, custodial services, landscape services, and the Catholic Charities League Agreement. Requests also included upgrades to existing positions to right-size certain sections and divisions of the department and to meet operational needs. Requests included additional staffing for the park and play program and aquatics operations. And there were requests made for the DeBell Golf Course operating budget, building grounds maintenance and repair for athletic leagues, and administrative citation support. One-time funding requests were made for the Burbank Pass program, the animal shelter personnel overtime, Art and Public Places funds to cultural services, a citywide adaptive day event, equipment and supplies for the park and play program, and reforestation efforts. And notably, a budget request for a diversity and inclusion program was not granted. As the budget process comes to a culminating point, some important upcoming dates include, as mentioned earlier, April 27th is when the IOB infrastructure plan approval will go before their board to be presented to council. On May 9th, the council review of budget materials, general fund, enterprise fund, special revenue funds, and internal service funds. And on May 16th, the continuation of the budget presentation if needed, and also the infrastructure presentation. June 6th is the public hearing and adoption of the fiscal year 2023-24 utility rates. And on June 13th, a public hearing and adoption of the fiscal year 23-24 annual budget. So this concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
I have a question, Mr. Altman. Let me just say that I appreciate all of the effort that goes into putting together all of these, all of our needs. It's clear that there's a lot of thought that went into this, to identifying the needs, improving the safety, making upgrades and efficiencies and updates to programs. I did note, though, the last statement within that paragraph that you mentioned, and that was that the diversity inclusion program was not granted. Can you tell me what that is?
I might divert that one to Marissa to answer.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair Camino, board members. That's an excellent question. And I want to clarify that I know it says that diversity and inclusion program was not funded. Really specifically, what was not funded was we were asking for a position, a full-time position that we felt would be a benefit not only to the department but to the city. So to that end, I will talk a little bit about what was funded and what we're currently doing and what we will continue to do. and how we envision this position. And while it was not approved to move forward, that doesn't mean that we won't continue to do these efforts. But so just briefly, one of the focuses that the department has had is to really ensure that there is that every member in our community has access to parks and recreation programs. As we've introduced last year, the Park and Play vehicle is one where we are able to go to neighborhoods, go to schools, go to areas where residents may not have as much access to parks or to some of our programs. And it's a way also to introduce our community members to our program. So that is one program. We also last year introduced wheelchair rugby. And that we are offering as a drop-in program at McCambridge Park. That's going to continue. We have partnered with Triumph Foundation, a nonprofit, and we hope to further, develop that relationship and expand some of our offerings as best we can with the current resources that we have. And staff is also working on some other, have some other plans and working through some things. That being said, we know that there's a lot more we want to do as a department. And also just knowing that there could be a benefit citywide having a person that is focused and dedicated to diversity and inclusion, whether it's just training city employees, helping some other departments when it comes to community engagement, just best practices in terms of inclusion. So our request was for a full-time position. Our vision was that that position would be under Parks and Recreation, and half of the time they would be spent really dedicated to Parks and Recreation programs, and the other half would be spent to support the entire city, however that looked like. Regrettably, because there were a lot of other requests, the city manager had to look at all of the requests and based on priorities, what other, council needs are, and this position was not approved to move forward. I will say that, as I mentioned, when I first previously, we're still going to continue doing what we do in Park and Rec. We have my team's looking at applying for some grants for some equipment that we hope we're successful. We're working with our elected officials, assembly member and senator, to see if there's some funds that we can tap into that we can, again, continue enhancing our offerings to our community of all ages and abilities. So happy to answer any additional questions or if you have any further questions regarding that topic.
Thank you for answering my
Sure.
question. No further questions from me. I will just emphasize and agree with you that diversity and inclusion is absolutely important in our city. And I support and appreciate that you and the staff continue to remain dedicated to accessibility, to equity, to inclusion. I commend you for that, and please continue to do that work regardless of not having the position, but I do appreciate you continuing to do that work. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay. I appreciate the budget. It's very comprehensive. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you have another topic for us, I believe, and that is on business cards.
I do. So next presentation is a Boards and Commission business card update. So good evening again. Going to be presenting on the Parks and Recreation Board Business Card Justification Report. Some background. City Council established various boards and commissions and committees to review city programs, projects, and community issues. Collectively, the city has a total of 23 boards and commissions, each with unique sets of duties and responsibilities. These groups provide greater community participation and input into local government while facilitating quality decisions by council. Boards and commissions provide additional lines of communication between the general public and council to ensure city government responsiveness. Each board and commission has the opportunity to provide input and make recommendations to council. However, boards and commissions do not determine or establish city policy or administrative direction. Additionally, boards and commissions serve in an advisory capacity, with some having limited decision-making authority. Boards and commissions' benefits include focusing attention on specific issues, encouraging citizen participation, providing a community viewpoint, and making recommendations based on a thorough analysis of alternative solutions. The city recognizes the importance of utilizing business cards when such use is consistent with the duties or purpose of the board or commission. Business cards have been a recurring request from some boards and commissions to bring awareness to respective commissions and to further communication efforts with the community, public officials, city staff, and members of other boards or commissions. To ensure appropriate language of official boards and commissions business cards, staff proposed the business card policy to council at the December 13th, 2022 meeting. Council voted to approve the policy, which includes the procedure for boards and commissions to obtain business cards, defines a code of conduct when requests are approved by council, and details the business card's contents. At the January 12th, 2023 Parks and Recreation Board meeting, the board decided to move forward with the process to request business cards for its members. The policy states that the board and commission must provide a written justification for the necessity of business cards for its members. The board and commission must vote to confirm their justification and agree to abide by the code of conduct set forth within the policy for usage of the business cards. The board discussed reasons why the use of business cards would enhance their ability to carry out duties as board members. The board serves in an advisory capacity to council on various matters within the field of parks and recreation. Board members regularly interact with members of the public while representing the board at city and Parks and Recreation Department events and programs. Business cards would allow board members to create opportunities for community engagement by offering members of the public an official channel to communicate questions or concerns related to parks and recreation matters. Staff recommends the following written justification to be presented to council for approval to obtain and utilize business cards. So the justification would read as follows. The Parks and Recreation Board requests approval of the City Council to obtain and utilize boards, commissions, and committees' business cards. Board members regularly interact with the public while representing the board at City of Burbank and Parks and Recreation Department events and programs. The use of business cards would allow the board to facilitate official communication and informal exchanges between members of the community, public officials, city staff, and other board and commission members through appropriate department contact information. The board serves as an advisory capacity to council on matters relating to parks and recreation. The use of business cards will provide increased opportunity for board members to understand and articulate the community's needs, thus making more informed recommendations to council and staff. So that was the written justification for your review. As stated in the policy, the board is required to vote to confirm their justification and also to agree to abide by the code of conduct set forth for the usage of the business cards. So staff recommends that the board discuss and vote to confirm the written justification and to abide by the board and commission code of conduct outlined within the policy. So this concludes my presentation and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Altman. I have no questions. Do any other board members have questions? Okay. Please.
What you mentioned the guidelines or the following guidelines at the end. What is?
So I believe
Oh, it's
the
in
attachment to the staff report kind of
Okay.
outlines the code of conduct that's associated with that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If any board members have not taken a look at that code of conduct, I welcome or invite you to please do so at this time. I think the justification looks great. It articulates what we discussed. I appreciate particularly the last line that for board members to understand and articulate the community's needs, thus making more informed recommendations to council and staff. It's really the core purpose of this, so that we're more informed and we can articulate those needs. So I fully support this justification. I'd like to ask my fellow board members if you support this. So can I have a motion to approve the justification as is?
Motion to approve as is.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. It's been approved. Secondarily, though, I know we're supposed to combine these, so I should have changed my motion, so let me just backtrack that a little bit. I want to make sure that we approve the justification and also the policy. and also abide by the policy that's within our packet. So is everyone comfortable with the policy? Okay, so to clarify that motion, Ara, can we vote on to approve the justification and to abide by the policy?
Yes, my motion is to approve both.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, it's time for, there's no other new items on the agenda, so let's go ahead and review the consent calendar. We have the meeting minutes from March 9th, which we need to approve, review and approve. We have the city council agenda items update for note and file, contract compliance, park patrol report, and department operations update, which are all note and file. So can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I motion to approve the consent calendar.
And I second.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The consent calendar has been approved. Thank you, board members. There are no tabled items that I have on my list. Are there any additional comments from the board members? Yes. Board member Marcillian.
Yeah, I just wanted to commend the staff for, I went to the Burbank Youth Art Expo last week. I got to see Marissa Garcia there. And it was incredible turnout, actually. I don't want to say I was surprised, but because they do such a good job for that particular event, but it was definitely a lot of people. A lot of kids participated. I don't know, I don't want to do injustice to the number, but I think they said they had over 1,100 submissions. It was a lot. There was a lot of people there, and this was just the kindergarten through fifth grade. So I'm guessing there was just as many around that, probably for the 6 through 12. And it was really, really good art, like the ones that were in the gallery. So it was really impressive artwork that our students are doing, and good job for the teachers to help promote that at the schools. So just wanted to say thank you to the staff for doing that, and I encourage students, K through 12 next year to participate. Just a really, really cool opportunity event. So thank you for that.
I'm so glad you had the opportunity to go. I wanted to go, so I'm glad. Thanks for sharing that with us. Are there any other comments? Okay, I have none. My liaison assignment was canceled, so I don't have an update on that either. Okay, so then that moves us to the introduction of new agenda items. Does anyone have any agenda items to add? Board Member Ramsey, let's guess.
Yes, can you guess? I would like to agendize the discussion of liaison with Sustainability Commission, between us and Sustainability Commission.
Perfect. I support that. Board Member Marcillian, do you support that?
Yes, I
Okay.
support.
Excellent. I'd like to provide just a little bit of clarification or dovetail onto that as well. I too would like to discuss it. I'd like, again, to ask staff to provide us with an overview on what that looks like. We all serve as liaisons on other boards and commissions. I'd like to understand what that looks like, having someone serve on our board as a liaison.
And can I actually ask a question? Do you happen to know when they meet, the Sustainability Commission?
It is on the public calendar, but I'm not sure when the next one is.
Mondays, I believe. I just don't know which Monday.
It's been a while since I served on that one.
I'm happy I want to say the first Monday of the month, but don't quote me. I'll look that up. We'll make sure it's included in the staff report, but happy to send the board an email with that information.
That
Okay.
sounds right.
It does sound right, but it's also on the city's website, so it's okay. Thank you so much. We can look that up. Okay, excellent. So that is another one of our agenda items. Does anyone else have another agenda item to add? Okay, I'm sorry, Director.
I apologize. Following the additional agenda item, I was going to ask the chair if I could have like a minute just to
yes.
provide a quick update.
Please, absolutely. Okay, are there any other assignments? Okay, perfect. Director Garcia, can you provide an update for us?
Yes, thank you very much. Wanted to follow up on Board Member Masurlian's. Thank you so much for for the compliment on the Youth Art Expo. The team at the Creative Arts Center, Betsy Lukey Creative Arts Center, do a fantastic job. The artwork is still on display at the Creative Arts Center through April 26th. So anybody is still welcomed to stop by the Creative Arts Center. We're open on weekends at limited hours. I don't have that quite in front of me, but fantastic. I absolutely agree with Board Member Masurlian. The artwork is phenomenal, phenomenal. Also, just really quickly, I know Chad introduced himself. But I have a couple of changes with staffing that support the board and want to make sure you are aware. As Chad mentioned, he will start on Monday as my new executive assistant. One of his responsibilities will be recording secretary for this board. So excited to welcome him to the department and have him work alongside the board. But sad to not have Lupe Santariaga with us. She's still in the department. She's still working with us, but she'll be not be joining us on a monthly basis. Also, Noah Altman will be supporting recreation starting on Monday. We have some needs, some staffing resources, so Noah will be supporting our recreation division starting Monday. Also, Paula Ohan, who some of you know, as part of her responsibilities as a senior administrative analyst, she will be supporting the park board. So you won't be seeing Noah and Lupe on a monthly basis. Again, they're still in the department and will be providing a lot of valuable support. Instead, we'll have Chad and Paula. So thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing that with us. We'll be sad to see Lupe and Noah go, but we're glad you're using your talents in other places. And we're glad we always love working with Paula. So we're glad to have Paula, and welcome to the team, Chad. Look forward to working with you. So, okay. Well, thank you for all of those updates. And, and also thank you for sharing about that we could still see the artwork. That's great. I don't feel like I missed out then. I feel like I could go see it. So thank you for sharing that until April 26th. So with that, unless there's anything else to add, nope, then we will conclude our meeting. I call our meeting to conclusion, and we'll resume again on May 11th in council chambers. Thank you.